What's the price of desperation? For Vladimir Putin, it's approximately $10 billion paid to one of the world's most isolated dictatorships in exchange for cannon fodder troops, obsolete artillery shells, and ballistic missiles. For Kim Jong-un, it's the opportunity to test weapons on real battlefields, gain combat experience for his military, and extract cutting-edge space and nuclear technology from Russia in return. And for the 12,000 North Korean soldiers deployed to Russia's Kursk region, it's a one-way ticket to a meat grinder where over 3,000 have already been killed or wounded fighting a war that has nothing to do with North Korea's security. This isn't just military cooperation between authoritarian allies. This is a devil's bargain where Russia trades its most sensitive military technology to obtain artillery shells and human waves, while North Korea uses Russian blood money to advance its nuclear and space programs. The numbers are staggering. 8 million artillery shells, 148 ballistic missiles with 150 more expected, thousands of elite troops, and military hardware worth nearly $10 billion. And in exchange, Russia is providing Kim Jong-un with exactly what the international community has spent decades trying to prevent him from obtaining: technology that brings North Korea closer to becoming a genuine nuclear-armed threat capable of striking anywhere on Earth. The Hermit Kingdom opens its arsenal. North Korea possesses one of the world's largest artillery arsenals, a legacy of Cold War militarization and decades of obsessive military focus despite crushing poverty. Estimates suggest North Korea has stockpiled anywhere from 20 to 30 million artillery shells and rockets, most manufactured decades ago, but still functional. For Russia, which has been consuming artillery ammunition at rates that dwarf production capacity, North Korea's massive stockpiles represent a lifeline that keeps artillery batteries firing when Russian factories can't keep up with demand. The numbers Kim has provided are almost incomprehensible. 8 million artillery shells. That's not a typo. 8 million rounds of 152 millimeter and other calibers that Russian artillery depends on. To put that in perspective, the United States has struggled to provide Ukraine with even a fraction of that quantity. Western nations combined haven't matched what North Korea alone has shipped to Russia. These shells fuel the grinding artillery warfare that defines much of the Russian offensive. The constant bombardment that destroys Ukrainian positions, terrorizes civilians, and consumes ammunition at rates modern militaries aren't designed to sustain. 148 Hwasong-11 KN-23 ballistic missiles already delivered, with 150 more expected. The KN-23 is North Korea's equivalent to Russia's Iskander missile, a short-range ballistic missile with maneuvering capability designed to evade air defenses. These aren't ancient Scud derivatives. These are relatively modern weapons that Kim has been developing and testing over the past several years. Russia is using them to strike Ukrainian cities and infrastructure, giving Kim real-world combat data on his missile system's performance against Western-supplied air defenses. Approximately 120 170 millimeter self-propelled guns and 120 240 millimeter multiple rocket launchers. These aren't just ammunition, these are complete artillery systems that Russia can deploy to frontline units. The 240 millimeter rockets are particularly devastating, each carrying massive warheads designed for saturating large areas with high explosive. Russia is essentially incorporating North Korean artillery battalions into its order of battle. Over 20,000 shipping containers of materiel. Satellite imagery has tracked these containers moving from North Korean ports to Russian military facilities. Each container holds weapons, ammunition, spare parts, or other military equipment. The sheer logistics of moving 20,000 containers suggests an industrial-scale military supply operation that's been ongoing for over 2 years. Total estimated value, $9.8 billion, according to the Friedrich Naumann Foundation's September 2025 analysis. That's almost North Korea's entire estimated GDP for a year, meaning Kim is essentially trading a year's worth of national economic output for whatever technology and support Russia provides in return. The Storm Corps, elite troops in a suicidal mission. The deployment of 10,000 to 12,000 North Korean troops from the elite 11th Storm Corps represents something unprecedented in modern warfare. A nuclear-armed nation sending its soldiers to fight in another country's war of aggression with no direct threat to its own security. These aren't mercenaries or volunteers. These are conscripted soldiers from one of North Korea's premier military units, sent to die in Russian fields for reasons they likely don't fully understand. The 11th Corps is designated as North Korea's Special Operations Force, trained for infiltration, rapid assault, and high-intensity combat. These aren't poorly trained conscripts. These are soldiers who've undergone years of ideological indoctrination and military training to become Kim's most capable conventional forces. They're supposed to be North Korea's advantage in any conflict on the Korean peninsula. Instead, they're dying in Russia's Kursk region at horrific rates. South Korean intelligence estimates 300-plus killed and 2,700-plus wounded, over 25% casualties in just months of combat. Think about what that means. 1 in 4 North Korean soldiers deployed has been killed or wounded. These casualty rates would cause most militaries to withdraw units for reconstitution. North Korea just keeps feeding troops into the meat grinder. Why is Kim willing to sacrifice thousands of his elite soldiers? The calculation appears to be that the combat experience gained by the survivors is worth the casualties. North Korea hasn't fought a real war since 1953. Its military doctrine, training, and tactics are all theoretical. Sending Storm Corps troops to Ukraine gives North Korea something invaluable: soldiers with actual modern combat experience against a motivated, well-equipped adversary using Western weapons and tactics. The survivors who eventually return to North Korea will be the most combat-experienced soldiers in the Korean People's Army. That knowledge is worth more to Kim than the lives of thousands of expendable soldiers. The technology transfer, what Russia gives Kim. North Korea isn't helping Russia out of ideological solidarity or anti-Western sentiment. Kim Jong-un is transactional, and what he's extracting from Russia in exchange for troops and weapons should terrify the international community. Space program assistance, and satellite technology. North Korea has struggled for decades to develop functioning reconnaissance satellites. Russia has among the world's most advanced space launch capabilities. Reports indicate Russian engineers are providing technical assistance, training, and possibly direct support for North Korea's satellite program. In November 2023, North Korea successfully placed a military reconnaissance satellite in orbit, likely with Russian assistance. Future launches will benefit from continued Russian technical support, possible tactical nuclear weapons technology. This is the nightmare scenario that intelligence agencies monitor obsessively. Russia possesses some of the world's most advanced nuclear weapons designs, including tactical nuclear weapons small enough for battlefield use. Any technology transfer, even indirect knowledge sharing, advances North Korea's nuclear program in ways that decades of sanctions were designed to prevent. Advanced missile technology and guidance systems. Russia's missile technology is far more sophisticated than North Korea's, despite recent North Korean advances. Technical consultations, component sharing, or design assistance could help North Korea improve the accuracy, range, and survivability of its ballistic missile arsenal. The long-term strategic implications are staggering. The international community has spent decades and billions of dollars trying to prevent North Korea from advancing its nuclear and missile programs. The verdict, when desperation meets opportunism. $10 billion in military support, 12,000 troops, 8 million shells, 148+ missiles, and technology transfers that could bring North Korea closer to genuine ICBM capabilities. This isn't normal military cooperation. This is desperation on Russia's part met by opportunism on North Korea's part, creating a partnership that threatens global security for years to come. Putin gets the ammunition and bodies he needs to sustain his failing war in Ukraine. Kim gets the technology and combat experience to advance his nuclear ambitions and military capabilities. And thousands of North Korean soldiers die in a war that has nothing to do with defending their country. Drop a comment. What happens when North Korean troops with combat experience return home? Let's discuss.